Workforce shortages are a significant issue across many sectors in the region, from agriculture to healthcare and service industries. What solutions would you propose to attract and retain a skilled workforce in the region, and how can the province support local businesses in addressing these shortages?
Yeah, as I just mentioned, direct skills training, apprenticeships, and also looking at these jobs, these careers, from a more holistic standpoint, right? If you're getting into hospitality because there's a labor demand, can you make it a career? Is this something that you can afford to do for 5 years? Is this something that you can do for 30 years? And how do we provide income level and security that people can choose these lines of work? And I think that's been a challenge in our current economy, is that with cost of living, there's a lot of work that I think people are willing to do, but it doesn't pay enough to cover your cost of living. It doesn't provide the security that's necessary as a long-term career. And so looking at those questions, doing that problem solving, I think is how we answer the question. So that when you're starting out as a young person, you want to follow your dreams, you get into something, you have support for training, and you have the opportunity to continue in that line of work with dignity and with stability and security.
Again, I think this dovetails with the last question, right? Being able to build capacity within our education system. So it's a seamless transition from school into the workforce, and you're prepared for that workforce. You know, you talked about cost of living. We have a large percentage of British Columbians right now that are looking to move elsewhere because of the cost of living here, right? We've talked previously about strategies in order to be able to reduce those costs of living, but I lost my train.
So I think it's interesting thinking about, we talked a little bit about how the economy of our province helps support that labor market as well. And if you look at BC, you see, we're all struggling, right? We see how much a bag of groceries cost. We see how challenging it is to get by. But at the same time, we look at those economic metrics for BC. We look at our minimum wage, and we look at how quickly wages are rising in BC, which is as fast or faster than almost everywhere else in the country. We look at the opportunities around our debt to GDP ratio. We look at unemployment rates in BC. We're doing better than almost everywhere else in the country. Those are the kinds of indicators that help then support that labor market, right? In my mind, so by investing in people, we're in turn investing in an economy that actually is doing better than almost everywhere else, which is going to turn that tide for us. On the training and education side of things, the other thing that we haven't talked about yet is things like adult basic education. So when we got into government, there was a scenario back in 2017 where the BC Liberals at the time were going to say, we're going to start charging tuition for that. So if you lived in Keremeos and you were trying to get trained to get into one of these professions that you needed your graduate of your high school graduate degree, you had to pay. And that would have been a prohibitive barrier for so many people. And so by investing in those kinds of programs, those kinds of unlocking the door and reducing the barriers to people getting into the training system that they need to be able to, again, meet their dream, right, or achieve their dream of whatever it might be, an early childhood educator or a healthcare aide. Those are the sorts of things that we're investing in to make things easier for people in rural places to be able to get that training and get into positions that they want and they need, and certainly that employers want and need as well.